What the heck?
Look, this looks like another button. Look at all. Look at this. Look at the big spider web up there.
Oh my god.
Hey everyone, my name's Maddie. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to my COMPCLIMB training series, where I record my training here and there. I give my best explanation of each training session and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. As you can see, we're here training again. This is day 2 after rest month, and we are in Berlin still, and this is a cool gym called Berta Bloc. Now, right away, this is the first hard climb of the session, and I've got my scrape of the day. So, yeah, that was not pleasant. It still hurts right now, and it's like the evening now of this day. Literally, it will happen every day. So, I'll keep pointing them out. And what's funny is I got a scrape right over a tattoo that I got earlier this year. Last November, I was training at Climbers Rock, which, by the way, is the best climbing gym in Ontario. So if you're ever in the area, definitely check it out. Links in our description. I was climbing and we were setting our own boulders. And okay, well, I'll pause for a second. Just look at this brush. It's kind of funny. So I was training and we took off a hold to set our own boulder in the back alley. And there was a screw underneath, and I guess the setters didn't notice it or whatever happened there. So there was a broken screw underneath the thing, and I did a little coordination boulder that Zach sent me, and I just completely shredded my leg there. So I had the scar, it was a pretty big cut, so it scarred over, and I decided to just put these stitches over it because the scar is going to be there forever anyway. So I thought I'd just throw some stitches on it to memorialize a good session. And a pretty big injury, actually. It didn't hurt at all, though, which is kind of weird, but anyway. So, day 2, I'm still feeling just as weak as yesterday, but I'm climbing just as well as yesterday, which is interesting. This boulder was pretty, it's kind of an overhanging boulder, so I wasn't sure, Zach recommended this one during our session. I was like, okay, whatever. If I had my choice, I'd probably not do this one. It looks kind of hard for my current state, but my first attempt was actually okay. I got about halfway through, and then we found there's a bit of a crux in the middle. There's an undercling, it looks like, and then a side pull, and I wasn't sure what to do with them, if I should try to use the undercling first then go up, or just use it to press. And so I think in the end I was just I'm just gonna get on the wall and see what happens. I think I was leaning towards pressing on it, and you'll see in a second what I do here, but this is the only thing that's kind of interesting here is it wasn't the hardest boulder I ended up doing today, and it was a pretty hard boulder. It's a purple tape, which is the second hardest they have here. It was just really hard to sequence, and it was just I thought I was pretty, it was a pretty good send just because I had some really interesting beta that is kind of beta that you'd think of when you're in the midst of a training cycle and you've been sequencing for months and you're really in comp mode, or you're ready to go, and I just had this press beta, and it was so easy to reach up here, and I feel I made it look pretty solid, and I felt really good in it. It was easy beta, I made some hard moves a little bit easier, so I was really psyched about this end. And I told Zach, this is what I say after every session. I try to find one really good thing that I do in the session, and then as soon as I do that, I call the rest of the session will be good. No matter even if I mess it up from here and it's just the worst session afterwards, as soon as I do the one good thing, the session's saved. And it doesn't I actually look for this every single session, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. Just early on or even late on, as soon as there's something I'm proud of or even minorly proud of, I'm gonna have a good I can look back at the session and be that was a good session. So it keeps me in a good mindset for the rest of the day. And it lets me just kind of have less pressure. I've already done something that was kind of hard and helped me become a better climber. So I don't really need to worry about, getting just making sure that I get every cent, every drop of experience out of the session. I've already done something. So that just helps me stay positive. This boulder though was really, really interesting to try here. It really drew, like I really wanted to try this one. I thought it might have been a little hard for my just because I'm so fresh off of rest month. It's a lot of pressing, very physical, but it was just calling to me. Like it looked really cool. I love the simple boulders like this, like a simple straight mantle. I mean, it's not quite simple. It's actually quite a technical mantle, to be honest, but it's like very few holds. It's just kind of movement. Like this is kind of like a semi-final style of bouldering, like a World Cup semi. I really like the semi-style boulders because it's less about like straight rock climbing. It's more like the comp stuff, like the movement and pretty boulders and like big holds. Like that's my cup of tea. That's kind of why I love comp climbing and doing like nationals and making finals. It's just you always get these really cool boulders and the big boulders. So yeah, this one was really good. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it, but I got so close, and I feel like I made like some really good moves on it, did some really hard stuff on it. So I spent quite a bit of time on it at the beginning, and then I moved kind of towards some other boulders because it's really hard on your wrist when you're mantling so much like this. I think the wall was straight vert or maybe a little overhung, but either way, like the mantle was not easy. Like I'm being like pushed off the wall the whole time. So yeah, this was a really fun boulder, and you can see I'm getting up there, and then finally I think this is the attempt. Yeah, I finally get my feet off of the left, and then I'm just kind of stuck. My arms are completely like straight, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I try seeing if I can get some friction from like my shirt on the volume, and then I throw my foot up, and it's just like everything is just like there's no way. Like I don't know what is going on here. I think I have to get my hand off of the start hold. But yeah, this was a really, really cool boulder. And unfortunately, I won't be coming back to this because what we're doing in Berlin here is I only have like 3 days of climbing. And the last day is actually the day we have to take a train back to Frankfurt. So I have to train before we leave. So I'm just going to pick one gym. I'm going to pick a different gym just to get some variety. I just want to see what else Frankfurt or what else Berlin has to offer. So here is the next boulder. This guy's a slab, and these holes, if you have seen any of the World Cups this year, these holes are all over the map. I think they were in like Asia and one other. Do you remember the other World Cup these were in?
Japan was the first one.
Yeah, they were mainly in Japan, and they're really cool because obviously they've got duel-Tex and texture on these like 360 holds, but they are like you can't really tell. Like even from a distance, I'm looking at it right now, you can't really see what part's which. When you look up close, you can definitely see it, but it definitely makes it tricky because sometimes they put the duel-Tex not where you want it to be. I don't know why they had some tape on the holds that were like showing the difference between texture and non-texture. Maybe that's what it was, or it was something else. But this one ended up being really hard, and I was really happy about that because I wanted to get on these holds, but I didn't want it to be like a warm-up climb. I wanted to like spend some good amount of time on these holds. So luckily, this boulder was very hard, and it was probably, I think this is now the hardest end of the day. Wouldn't you say, Zach? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy with this boulder. It took me it took me maybe like a good handful of attempts, like a little bit outside of a 5-minute round, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. And yeah, like I was like, it's like a really physical slab here. And it took a while to figure out what was actually going on. Like there's so many places to put your feet, and there's like also not a lot of places to put your feet because there's duel-Tex all over the place. And you'll notice when you watch me climb, sometimes I do some funky stuff. Like I've got like an upside down kind of mantle going on here. Like I really just like putting my feet up high and like pressing on stuff. So that's usually when I'm trying to figure out boulders, I usually try to press around and just find the sweet spot.
What does Eric like to call it?
Yeah, this is Maddie Beta right here. So it's Maddie Beta is kind of code for like kind of stupid beta, like not really the beta at all. Sometimes it works, and when it does, it's very effective. Sometimes I'm the only one to send something with my beta. Other times it's like way far off, and it kind of shows a bit of a weakness in beta that I have. I'm definitely working on my beta weakness. Like all through the World Cup season last year, it was every single event. It was like I need better beta. I'm just a little bit behind the rest of the group. I don't watch enough World Cups, and I don't pay enough attention to like details. Like Zach's really good at the tip of day. I'm like kind of like I'm almost intimidated to try giving you a tip of the day because I feel like I don't know the mechanics of moves as well as other people do. So that's definitely gonna be the focus of this year. So I'll try to do some tip of the days, and I'll definitely pay attention to Zach's. Like obviously Zach is just constantly giving me tips, and it's definitely starting to like pay off. Like I feel like actually today's session was there's a lot of creativity and a lot of interesting beta, not even interesting, just like good beta was coming out. Like you'll see, I think this is my send attempt right here. And I think it was like a literally beta that brought me through this boulder. So I was really, really happy with that, especially off of rest week or rest month. I keep calling it rest week. It's a really good sign. And I'm definitely going to just keep watching World Cups. I think like the best way for me to learn beta is to just watch. Like it's part of the reason I'm sure you're watching COMPCLIMB is to, get the beta and figure out how to move better on climbs and train. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. But, I don't I guess I could watch Zach's COMPCLIMB, but I'm just watching him climb anyway. So YouTube's a really good resource, and World Cups and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I like to watch when I am running out of other stuff to watch, or when I feel like it's some time to actually not watch for leisure, but actually just watch to actually try to get better at training. So with that said, in terms of COMPCLIMB, I have realized kind of what direction I want to go with it. And you'll see it's gonna be very similar to Zach's COMPCLIMB in that I'll obviously show a lot of my training and a lot of my on the wall stuff, but I think I'm gonna actually not film my off the wall training. I do a lot of hangboarding. You'll see my program. It'll always be in the description, right? So it'll be in the description, but I won't necessarily show you all of my weightlifting.
Disclaimer, it's quite cryptic because it's written by Libor.
Yeah, so you might not understand a lot of it. I don't understand a lot of it. And so, every day I'm texting Libor in the first week of the training program. As I'm going through it, I have to figure out what he's asking me to do. Today he said he accidentally told me to do 3 minutes of rest between each rep of typewriters, and then it was actually supposed to be 30 seconds. So I was very confused about that. Anyway, so yeah, I just find that filming my workouts is a little, I'm actually I filmed a couple today, but I felt like there was a little bit of pressure when I was filming it. When I do my pull-ups, I don't go all the way down because I find that it hurts my shoulders and all sorts of other stuff like that I just don't I don't want to explain. And I treat weightlifting pretty seriously, and almost as seriously as climbing in some ways. So I feel like I just want to take the pressure off of the weightlifting and just focus on doing it really well. So you'll mostly just see me on the wall, which is fun because I have a lot of climbing in my diet these days. So and that's honestly, it's becoming more of the exciting part of training for me. It never used to be the focus for me, and because I'm trying to get better with my beta and refine some of my more obvious weaknesses, I'm doing a lot more climbing. So you'll see a lot of the progression in that realm. That said, I did work out today and it was the absolute worst. My core routine was so bad. I had to stop so many times. I never usually stop on it, and it was I was out of breath the whole time. I could only do 2 sets of everything. I was supposed to do 3. I had to take all my weights way lower. It just felt terrible. And I was failing so many reps. I'm super, super weak, which is weird because I'm climbing really, really well. So it's rest month is just absolutely crazy, and you have to have a good head on your shoulders to be able to deal with the setbacks of rest month. But obviously climbing is the whole reason we're doing rest month and we're doing off the wall training. So it's really good that the climbing is good. So I think that's, as long as something's in my corner, I'm still my beta's right there, and I'm feeling good on the wall. I'm feeling positive. So it's not too big a deal that my weights aren't quite where they used to be. It's just the supplement, and I think the climbing is just the fun part, and it's also the whole point. So it should be fine. So that wraps up then our day. So I did the first session, waited about a couple hours. We went to get lunch, as you could see. Got some pancakes because it's Tuesday, and Tuesday is Pancake Tuesday. I've been doing that for 3 or 4 years now, every single Tuesday. But we missed it for breakfast. We had to get it for lunch. And then we went and did hangboard and weighted pull-ups, dips, and some core. And I think typewriters, and I might be missing something else. I was supposed to do pinch block, but I didn't even bring a pinch, and there wasn't a pinch block there. I didn't bring a pass. I was so unprepared today, and that was part of the adding to the whole not really good weightlifting session. So I'll be more prepared. I only have to do this once a week right now. So next time we'll be in, hopefully back in where we live. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, Maddie just did all that in a one take and made my editing life a whole lot easier. Thank you for being so talented.
No problem.